Banshee, level 18 upgrade. Today I'm going to be installing the rear RPM A-arms. These of course were donated to me by Coyote0976. Thank you again, man. Let's go ahead and open these up and check them out. Oh. Well, pull the top off, and then we're going to pull out the A-arms themselves, which look very nice. What is this? It looks like it's one of those pieces of plastic. I'm going to have to use an X-Acto knife to get that off, but yeah, they look really good. And of course, they always include RPM stickers. This time I got white, and then the shipping information. Wow, they really messed that up. Anyways, wow, guy, you did not do a good job with this packing. Let's go ahead and get these installed. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is remove the rear wheels. Each one's held on with a 4mm nut. Once I remove the tire, it's time to go ahead and remove this lower screw for the shock. With this screw out of the way, I'm going to move the shock up, and now it's time to remove this screw pin. Once this one's out of the way, we need to go ahead and get the second one out, but you can see that it's being blocked by the battery holder, so we're going to have to remove that. It's only held to the chassis with 2 screws. With those 2 out of the way, you can go ahead and pull the battery pack out, slide that to the side, and now you have access to the second screw pin. Once you get the second one out, then you can go ahead and pull off the old A-arm. And now to go ahead and compare it to the new one. And as you can see, the design is actually a bit more different than the stock one, which I really don't care. I mean, stock is stock. You can't beat RPM. So let's go ahead and get the new one installed. Just gonna go ahead and slide it into position. I'm gonna insert the screw pin for the top, and then I'm gonna line the axle. Make sure everything's in position, and then we're going to go ahead and insert this one and then screw both of these down. Once those are taken care of, you're just going to go ahead and slide the shock back down, and then you're going to put this screw back in. Once you install both of the A-arms, you can go ahead and slide the battery pack back into position and then insert the 2 screws on the bottom. Once that's taken care of, all that's left is reattaching the tires. Since I'm working on the rear A-arms, I noticed, well, you can see it's really dirty back here. Now the bad part about this all getting gunky is that you can see that due to just how gravity is, everything that comes out of here, the engine, goes straight onto the top of this driveline and then goes inside this cup, which makes it really sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse these drive lines, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and pop off the wheel hex hub. I'm going to slide out the axle pin. Then of course I need to get the Teflon washer off. Now we're going to pull the drive shaft out, and we're going to make sure that bearing stays in there. Push that back in there. And next up, pull this off, and now for the top, I'm going to go ahead and remove this grub screw that holds on the yoke to the output. Now once that grub screw is out of the way, you can go ahead and pull off the top of the drive shaft. And wow, you can see that the top of this is actually rather warped. But anyways, I'm going to have to replace that. Good thing I have some extra ones lying around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide this funny little tool that Traxxas provides. I'm going to go ahead and pop off the top of the drive shaft. Never an easy thing to do. It's probably one of the biggest pains. And I'm going to go ahead and pop off the bottom. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is that this usually goes on the axle pin. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the output yoke. What this is going to do is that it's going to keep the cup on the bottom. So once I have it back on there, all the fluid is going to go on top of this cup and then go down and stay out of the inside. But before I put all this back together, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, because as you guys can see, it's dirty. Alright, everything's been cleaned, and I snapped on back the yoke as well as the axle, just using this tool in reverse. It's one of those things, guys, that it just takes practice. But yeah, now it's time to go ahead and reinstall it. I'm going to slide the yoke back onto the output, and I'm going to install that grub screw that holds it in place. After that, all I have to do is slide the axle pin through the axle carrier, followed by a Teflon washer. Slide that all the way down, get the axle pin, slide that through the hole. Make sure that is even on each side. Snap on the wheel hex hub, and then yeah, just go through the same process of installing the A-arm as I mentioned before. Here's before, And here is after, and I have to say that this looks good. It's a simple little modification, and thankfully these A-arms aren't that hard to install. Thank you very much, Coyote, for this awesome donation. Before I end this video, there's one more thing I should go ahead and mention. I added some more decals to the body. Now guys, I like the design I did, but in my opinion it turned out a little bit too simple. So with these tribal flames, I think it added that finishing touch that this body needed. And that was a level 18 upgrade for Banshee.